NFL playoffs? We're talking about NFL playoffs? You bet we are. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the NFL playoffs. And the key to you scoring big is betting on them at DraftKings, the number one place to bet touchdowns.
Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple, like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. The Manders had a big night, and so did Terry McLaurin, so I'm eyeing his props this coming week. And here's another reason to watch your favorite players crush it in the playoffs. New customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Score big during the NFL playoffs with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Jenkins. That's code Jenkins for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Welcome to Jenkins and Jonez on the Volume Podcast Network. It is Tuesday, January 21st. We got a bunch of stuff to talk. I was about to say a bunch of fun stuff to talk about today. It might not be the most fun stuff to talk about. We're talking the college football national championship, the TikTok ban that was not Unrivaled, which I'm looking forward to talking to. And we might talk a little politics, decide whether we are pro or anti-Nazi salute in America.
Yo.
Probably be a pretty short conversation, and then we're gonna talk Joey Badass. As always, Jenkins and Jonez, hosted by LaJethro Jenkins, aka John.
What's up, Bubba? This might be the last time, boys.
That was a joke for all those moderators out there. You know?
Yeah. Dragonfly Jones, aka Tyler.
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
I'm Guardy B, aka Mike.
Motherfucking Mike. Misinformation Mike. Late ass LaJethro.
I was about to say,
I wasn't late.
Late LaJethro calling
late
me
LaJethro.
Misinformation
Mike.
and just terrific Tyler. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we got one there.
No, yeah. Terrific Tyler.
Damn. Yeah, we don't have a narrative around Tyler. Tyler's just
the funniest nigga on the internet. You know what I mean? That's the narrative. The narrative is a fact. The narrative is
narrative. True. Yeah, his narrative is more accurate than our narrative. Too.
You're right.
John was early for the podcast today, for the record.
Yeah, thank you. But hey, man,
I'm gonna stick up for my guy.
That's generally the case, but we don't have to get into it. You know what I mean? Enjoy your narrative.
He had a run. He had a 14 to 18 month run where he was late pretty regularly.
Yeah, the last year, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, the first, we was But we was silly billies for the first 20 minutes. You know what I mean? So if I showed up 10 minutes late, you know, 10 minutes of silly billy and not 10 minutes of the show. The fuck. Anyway, let's go.
I love the rationalization. Producers always. Oh, it's just. I mean, I could be late. I was 10 minutes late, friends.
But we still kicked it for 10 more minutes.
No, this is.
That's what happened, though. That's what happened. I know what you may have wanted, Jackson.
You can see Jackson being so uncomfortable with that rationalization, and what's funny is you're not even ever late anymore, really. But he still hates the rationalization,
right?
Because it makes no sense.
The action has changed.
We're produced as always by the equally talented, equally lovely Jackson Saffon and Josh Rodriguez.
How
you doing? How you doing?
What's up, fellas? What's up? All right. College football national championship last night. Ohio State beat Notre Dame. Brutal cover for people who had Notre Dame. I was watching the game at one of our spots in Long Beach with a couple people who had money on Notre Dame and got to see the real downside of it was like a meaningless late field goal by Ohio State to cover, and just like after Notre Dame had come back, the guys were like super excited, and then they were not super excited. Tyler, what do you think of the Ohio State National Championship and of this first year of this format for the college football playoffs?
I enjoyed it. You know, I do think that, you know, we've discussed before the whole college playoff thing and how we think it's probably going to get even bigger than the 12 team. It's going to expand even wider. The college football tournament is never going to be. We're never going to see a Cinderella in this shit. Football is just not built for that, right? For I'm not downplaying how much of a game of strategy football is, because it absolutely is. But Often, bro, this ain't basketball, right? Like a basketball team can beat a more talented basketball team. Often, if you just throw out all the schemes, all the X's and O's, oftentimes football comes down to, okay, does this team have guys who are stronger at positions when strength wins? And does this team have guys who are faster at positions where speed wins? If the answer is yes, that team is winning 99% of the time. It's really that simple. And I think we saw that last night for sure.
And the depth matters so much more. You can't sign, there's no Davidson with Steph Curry in college football. There's no right guard who's going to just score 40 points because he got hot. Even though he's a little undersized or whatever. Yeah, I'm with you on that. College football is so weird to me. You had Ohio State fans last night celebrating. You had Michigan fans celebrating because they had beaten Ohio State, this year. You have I saw a couple of Ohio State fans tweeting about it doesn't feel like a complete season for the head coach because they lost to Michigan, even though they win a national championship. I'm a pro sports fan. None of this shit makes any sense to me. The Niners win the Super Bowl, but we lost one time to the Seahawks. I don't give a fuck. Like it's just so different because the hatred of the rivalries is so like pure and concentrated that like I can't imagine you win a national championship and are thinking about a regular season loss. But I do feel like that's part of what we're gonna get here in the SEC or with Ohio State and Michigan and shit like that. Do you agree with that? It's just it just is never gonna turn into like the NFL playoffs or something.
Yeah. College football is unique in that way, in that there's no sport in American sports that is more beholden to the fan bases than college football is. And what I mean by that is there is no sport where if your fan base ain't happy, shit changes as quickly as it does in college football, right? If the fan base wants the coach out, he's not going to last much longer. That's just flat out. Like you said with Ryan Day, the man won a national championship, and people are like, all right, beat Michigan, goddamn, right? You know what I mean? Like that's what it comes down to. Like, I was having this conversation on Twitter, and someone hit me and made a very interesting point, and they said that college football is interesting because it's not only about how happy you make your fan base, you have to make your rivals miserable too. And Michigan fans are way too happy right now for Ohio State fans to really be happy. That they've ran off 4 straight against Ohio State. They won a chip last year. Ryan Day, to endear himself and win over his fan base, he has to make Michigan miserable too. Like that is the two-sided sword of being a college football coach, bro.
This shit not healthy, bro. We got kids.
It ain't. College football coaches are different. I do not know why anyone would sign up for that shit, bro. That shit is up there with like the president as far as stressful positions. I cannot imagine, dog.
It's like the presidency. You get hired as a college football coach, look like a young man, and 3 years later, you look like you're fucking 97 years old.
Nick Saban is only 41 years old, if y'all can believe it or not. Look at that man.
Wait.
Nah, that's a joke. Nick
I'm gonna say.
No.
I thought you were being serious too. I was like, "There's no way."
Nick Saban,
yeah.
Early 70s, bro. He old as hell.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
Have y'all seen that Hotels commercial with Nick Saban?
I have not.
I feel like I've seen it like 100 times this football playoffs. It's like they're talking about why you want a hotel and not an Airbnb because Airbnbs have all these rules and shit. So it's like the hypothetical is you're staying at an Airbnb owned by Nick Saban. So he's giving you like all the different rules. It's like, no showers, showers can't go longer than 5 minutes. This isn't a sauna. And then the wife like laughs and then he looks up and goes, "That's a rule." But his line delivery of "that's a rule" is like when LeBron was in that Judd Apatow movie, and you were like, "This dude is fucking funny." Like this is like legitimate comedy chops.
He also looks like 10 years younger in that commercial too.
He looks great. I think one of the lines he goes like, "There's a beautiful patio on the deck. Don't use it."
Yeah,
it's like he kind of crushes it.
Yeah. I mean, being good at recruiting, he probably has it. You know what I mean?
He's been in a lot of living rooms.
Yeah. You got to have a little bit of a get those guys he was pulling them out of certain states. You know what I mean? Come on, man.
Yeah, that's a good point. And probably that type of like dry sense of humor and shit, like playing off your image as a hard ass and all that. Yeah, that's true. All right, y'all want to talk about how TikTok got banned and then unbanned?
We want to talk about propaganda. Is that what you do? You know what I mean?
Jackson, can you give us an accounting? I know, I don't think we're not as addicted to TikTok as you. What Can you give us an account, like a blow by blow of what happened? I was never that tapped in with it. I just know
I can give you a blow by blow, or I can attempt to give you a blow by blow.
It was banned briefly. I tweeted that the national attention span was getting longer, and then it was unbanned before TikTok addicts even had time to get mad at me. You know what I mean?
I believe it was Saturday. It was Saturday night at around like 6 or 7 p.m. Pacific. The app went down, and there was a message in the app that was like, "We're working with Trump to like get it back online," or something.
Nasty. They literally put that in there.
In the app was the reason for the ban initially.
And then the next morning, when it's back up, Sunday morning, again, at this point, Trump is not president. He is a private citizen at this point. He can do nothing to influence legally, to do nothing to influence the usage of the app or not. TikTok is just choosing to go down because the ban was, they're trying to play into Trump, right? There wasn't actually enforcement at this point. They just sort of chose to go down. They choose to come back up. And when they come back up, there also is a message that's like, thanks to President Trump, we are able to get back online or whatever. And it's just extremely, and now the app is up, but people have noticed that the vibes are off a little bit. It's not, there's some things already happening that make it not feel quite the same. One of the
You're like allowed to talk about Tiananmen Square now on there or what?
No, you're not allowed to talk about a lot of things. Well, one, there's like it used to be a lot of TikTok lives, and there's like no more lives. And people think that's because a lot of leftist groups and people are would be using the lives to try to like talk about the inauguration and stuff like that. So there's like very few lives happening. That's one thing. Second thing is people are pointing out and noticing that there are, and another thing I missed is that on the day before the shutdown, it was either Friday or Saturday, Facebook made an official TikTok account. They had not had a TikTok account before. So conspiracy theorists are trying to connect the dots. Like, why would that be happening? Is there a secret Meta sale? To be clear, there is no evidence of a Meta sale at this point. It's like rumors. It's possible, but it has not happened yet. There's a lot of things that people are trying to search that are showing zero search results. Like Trump, I don't want to use some of the words, but like Trump, like sexual assault, like you would get no results. Whereas someone in another country who is searching for the same thing would get a bunch of videos popping up, right? There's a lot of different examples like that of things that are being censored in some capacity. It's not good.
Are people aware that that was always the case on TikTok and that there was like a massive amount of propaganda like previously going on TikTok? That's what's been like interesting to me, seeing the emotional reaction to it is like, I was, for the reasons I've laid out about social media on this show, I was very pro banning TikTok. Right. As someone who works with teenagers, I think it's had a devastating impact on the individual and on the collective. I'm addicted to Twitter, not to TikTok, but I feel like when we found out how harmful cigarettes were, there were people who were addicted to cigarettes who were probably okay with banning them in most places. I feel like that's how I am on social media. The less social media we have in this country or on this planet, the better off we are going to be collectively as a species. So like, you can't ban them all because of the First Amendment, but any reason to ban any of them, I'm in favor of banning them, even if it was the one that I'm addicted to, which this did not happen to be.
So I was pretty against the ban at the start because I agree with your take about the kids. I think there probably should be an age limit put on the app. But I was against the ban for a couple of reasons. One, the overwhelming popularity of it. Like it's an example of like not being represented properly by government. To my opinion, when like over half of Americans, and when you think about Americans who are capable of using the phone, like think about all the elderly people, like it's an overwhelming majority of Americans want to use the app, and the government saying you can't do that. That's weird to me. And then in addition to that,
well, the government didn't say you can't do it. The government said it can't be directly controlled by a global interest that does not want us to exist as a country.
Sure.
And the TikTok's response to that being no.
Right. And we
could have sold the American part of this for $5 billion, and but we'd rather it still be controlled by the
and that's totally valid. But the other part that I had an issue with is it does feel like a violation of the First Amendment, and like specifically like from my perspective, from where I sit and what my interest, it's a massive organizing platform for people who are trying to do the work to work against fascism and oligarchy in the country, right? Like there's a lot of people on the opposite side who are like right-wing freaks who are using the app too. But like,
who's winning though? I mean, like who's using the tool more effectively? The people who the fascists.
I think you're underestimating the impact that the people, the organizing groups are using the app for and having the app for. And so like, but that being said, and that's why I was against the ban initially. Now, with the way that that it's gone, it's obviously become a
hamstrung
propaganda.
the leftists,
It's not
yeah.
the same thing that it was. It's being very obviously controlled by the fascistic branches of government that we have. So now it's like, well, the worst of all the outcomes happened. Like, I was against it for all these reasons, but now with the outcome of it, it just sucks all around.
I'm just happy. I mean, I was happy for a second not to get 17 TikToks sent to me at 10:30 p.m.
Who sends
So I
you?
got
Who's
one.
who's your most?
You're right. But I mean, like, dude, I mean, for her, honestly, yes, there's an addictive quality for sure, but she's benefited, you know what I'm saying, from like, there's like a group of, as far as like the mom content there, that's the stuff that speaks to her the most in TikTok, where it's really honest, it's very upfront, they're very vulnerable. You know what I mean? So it's helped her a lot with dealing with the transition from 1 to 2 kids, from not being a mom to a mom. It's been very, very beneficial. Obviously, also she's, you know, in her 30s and can control it better than a 17-year-old. So I do agree with your point.
Right.
But yeah, so she'll like certain things she can't explain herself. She'll be like, here, John, this is what I'm experiencing. Somebody that's, you know, explain it from a scientific perspective that I can understand better than just, you know, feelings.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The counter argument from social media stuff is that those interactions used to happen in person.
Yeah.
And that the impact that has on you emotionally as a person is different than taking it in on a phone. And so like that, I mean, obviously, like, look, I've benefited enormously personally, emotionally, financially from being on Twitter. I would never say that, like, I know a ton of people who make their money off TikTok the same way that people used to make money selling cigarettes or whatever that that was unregulated is regulated now, right? So I, you know, would never say it's like to Jackson's point, like, for sure, I'm not saying that there's not like a ton of positive things happening through those apps. It's just also clearly the global effect of them.
None of them outweigh that.
Is worse in my opinion. I think that's clear. But then also I do think there's cases like Rada's where, like, you know, that was where limiting my social media stuff came from, was like, I'm substituting this for things that it's not actually a substitute for in terms of interactions with friends and real life stuff. You know what I mean? Even like with y'all, like, being on Zoom is not the same as hanging out in person, but it's a step closer to that from, you know,
she has
just
those
with
interactions with friends, but those are like, she'll explain like certain things like, hey, she's trying to explain it to me and I don't necessarily get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And then somebody brings up, like, scientifically, this is how it works. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, and then also like little things like recipes and stuff to make it easier, you know what I'm saying, as far as prepping the children, you know, stuff. There's a ton
of everyday helpful stuff.
Yes, there's a ton of everyday beneficial stuff that she is really locked in with. And it's, you know, and it really helped her in a lot of different ways. So like I said, she's in her 30s. She's not, you know, an 18-year-old. She's not in the all day scrolling it. It's like at night before she goes to sleep when she really looks at it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I think if like you could point to Facebook in a similar way, right? Like, especially for elderly people, Facebook groups, people who don't have access to people in person. Yeah. There's a ton of like positive stuff on that. There's just also the looming cloud like over top of that, you know.
Yeah, for sure. So nobody we agree with that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And again, I obviously don't mean this as a critique of Rada being like
for sure. Yeah,
every person I know is on TikTok. I don't mean to critique it that way. It's just that it's the reason I use the cigarettes analogy, or like how Coca-Cola used to have cocaine in it, is like the history of the species is unregulated.
They brought TikTok back. Bring back cocaine and Coca-Cola, brother.
I just like, there's a long history of products existing that people like that make them feel good. That as we find out the larger negative effects they have, like we rein them in, and they still exist. Yeah, I mean, you know, you can still get Coca-Cola, you can still get cocaine. We just don't sell them together in vending machines.
It was legal when you bought the Coke, though. You know what I mean? Just a little, you know.
A little razzle dazzle.
You feel me? It's Coke
y'all
really
see
in today, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Did y'all see Zeitz was going to war against TikTok on Twitter? This shit was cracking me up, bro. Because people were just like, I got so many recipes on there, and he was like, you can't figure out how to get recipes without TikTok.
Zeitz is too smart, bro, and he's too funny. Just don't. You know what I mean? You set yourself up. He's finishing every lob, nigga.
Yeah.
Spectacularly. Like, dog, don't do it, bro. It ain't worth it.
He just,
Come
every
on.
time someone would reply with something like, I got so many good, cheap date ideas out there, he'd just quote tweet and be like, date ideas? I'll say this. I guess this goes to my point, but also to what Jackson and John have been saying. Teenagers absolutely believe that Donald Trump saved their favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
They believe it without second thoughts. They believe it unscrupulously. I saw that like 30 times.
Do they
on
understand
Sunday.
where this began, though? Like, he supported the ban. GOP
They don't
started this shit.
They're not.
They don't like this. What is this? What? But I mean, like, my nigga, this ain't like 100 years ago. This was what, a few years ago when they started talking about this shit.
I got a kid, my homie's kid, who played baseball for me in the fall. He's a sweet kid. He's in 6th grade. He and Vinny are gonna go to high school together and shit. He's on Instagram. You know, he followed me. I followed him back or whatever. 10 minutes after the shit posted, this is a black kid posted, was posting on his Instagram. Thank you, President Trump. Like,
Bro, I know, like, nigga, I'm hearing like black kids 23 like on Instagram posting like the fascist left.
it's
Nigga, you got a curly fro.
Hey, we know we. Hey, bro,
You supposed to
I'm
be over
telling
here
you,
with me.
we have work to do, brother.
You got a curly fro, nigga. You got putting the juices in bed. You know, like, nigga, what type of nigga is you, bro? Like, damn, hey, they different now, bro. He's real. Hey, nigga, it's nasty. It's nasty out here.
I think, like, you know, we talked about Isabel Wilkerson's cast on here. And I think what Trump did that I don't think that Democrats have reckoned with is by demonizing illegal immigrants, undocumented immigrants, the way that he did, he created a caste of people that everyone can feel superior to. And as we know, with the history of our species, that's all anyone wants. But legal recent immigrants, Hispanic people, black people, especially black men, there's an appeal there that the Republican Party never offered them before of, these people are the ones fucking it up. They're fucking your housing costs up. They're the safety in your city up.
My homie was talking to me yesterday about it. He was talking about how you know Trump was playing chess, and I was like, I think it was opposite. I think people don't understand chess, but they understand checkers, and that nigga played checkers. You know what I mean? And was very upfront and said a lot of shit that people wouldn't say, and they could understand his normal way of going about things. And so, like that, I think that's why a lot of people appeal. He appeals to a lot of people as well because he doesn't. He's not using the big words and all that type of shit. The way he talks is how you see people talking in real life, and shitting on other people and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. I feel like he did the opposite of checkers. I think he played, chess. He played checkers, and people know how to play that. You feel me? So there's a certain appeal there, bro. I don't know, man. Like, regardless, we are where we are. Let's change the subject. I can feel the vibes, like, you know what I mean? I can feel them get.
Okay, just quick poll for the: are we pro or anti Elon Musk Nazi salute? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm anti.
I'm anti. Let's be clear.
So. I would hope so. This is an anti-Nazi salute.
That man is either a Nazi or he's the dumbest motherfucker on earth.
No, I might be both.
I think he's that, but I also think he's a troll too. You know what I mean?
There's no in between with that shit. There's no
there's
way
like, come on, bro. You know, he knew exactly what the fuck he was doing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I logged on to Twitter for about 30 seconds on Sunday and saw that, and so I went for a walk with Shar. I'm trying. This is one of my goals for the next 4 years is to not have my personal mental health battered around so much by these fucking psychopaths. And John and I were just talking about, I'm cool with being informed enough to know that he was doing a fucking Zig Hail, but I'm gonna skip all the discourse about was it really? Oh, he was throwing his heart. Like, I'm just gonna skip all that. I'm just not gonna participate. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to talk to my wife about, can you believe people are like,
nope,
just skipping it.
Nope. I'm telling you, tapping in with community, leaning on me and mines, baby. You feel me? All that other shit, y'all can argue about that, nigga. Didn't work 4 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to try to fuck all that.
Yeah. Jackson, is the chat pro
Protect
or
your
anti.
mentals. Protect your mentals.
The
You
chat
feel
is
me?
inside. Yeah, the chat is inside. The chat is inside.
Proud of the
Good
chat.
job, chat. Proud of y'all.
Well, they say it's a wild shit. Why you?
Nah. They're just
Good.
they're just saying it's both. To Josh's point.
Okay. Yeah.
They're just saying it's both, and then there's a sprinkling of like, why is everyone staying on Twitter then? Which like can't hate on that response. That's probably fair.
That's no. I like absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and we talking about propaganda. It's nasty on Twitter,
It's
bro.
horrible.
I mean, how many times are you seeing like, AI versions of Elon or fucking Trump? You know what I'm saying? Like, or Trump supporters. I mean, there's so much Trump. Oh, it's crazy. It's unavoidable. I'm blocking shit and I'm still seeing. It's just, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
The last thing I'll say about this before we like sort of try to cleanse the vibes of this is the I feel like Trump has a couple times talked about the U.S. wanting the U.S. to own 50% of TikTok or whatever, and a couple times every time he does it, he says the U.S. Like it feels like in my like conspiracy brain that he isn't talking about a U.S. company. He's talking about like a state-sponsored purchase of this company and having actual state-sponsored media, which that would become the worst. That would like be Germany in the during World War II. So that's where I'm like, I hope I'm just like reading that wrong, but that's what I'm scared about. Propaganda.
I read in the Times this motherfucker. He's talking about expanding the country.
Oh yeah,
and he's gonna like acquire a state media. Like,
well, is it Canada?
They was talking about invading Greenland,
Canada,
fucking 13th century Vikings. Like, who the fuck wants Greenland, dog?
Who the fuck wants Greenland? Who the fuck cares? Everyone cares about the price of housing and groceries, and he's like, let's make it the Gulf of America.
But those people don't care about the price of housing. Like that's my thing. It's like I think they care on a certain level, but that's not why they voted for him. They're for all this shit, and that's the beef that I have. Like when I have conversations with the conservatives now, it's like stop lying to me. Like let's get to what you really want in this. Like you voted for him because he represents X, Y, Z. It has nothing to do with groceries or the price of gas. It has nothing to do with that. Or else you wouldn't stand for what he's doing right now.
I think I don't think that the economic part of it doesn't exist. Like I think I think that that's what kind of clinched it before, whether it was Biden or Kamala running. I think that that was the sort of, in my opinion, that was kind of the ball game. Whether that's just general incumbency, like we talked about this on the pod, like incumbent presidents coming out of COVID, like as the COVID recoveries happened, everyone got their ass out. Like, it's happening in Canada and everything too, right? So I do think that there's some like larger trends there that we're not as special as a country as we like to think we are. But yeah, to your point, like I said, I think when you look at how does the rhetoric this dude is doing swing margins among non-white voters towards Republicans in urban cities, like I think that demonizing a new lowest caste to point at, I think that was. I've heard that in my city, bro. Like that, like, hey, this is why I can't get, this is why black people are moving to the IE. We can't afford to stay in Long Beach because all the immigrants coming out. I've heard that, and our side of the aisle did not offer a better explanation. You know what I mean? Like we did not solve that or address that problem. He addressed it horribly and incorrectly, but he addressed it.
I also feel like folks don't stand on shit, nigga. Motherfuckers, you have a hard line, right? You know what I'm saying, Josh? Like, you have a hard line. Like, you cross a particular line, I don't give a fuck what else you talking about. Fuck you. Get the fuck away from me with that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Niggas don't stand on shit, bro. Niggas' morals are hazy at best. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like, people can be like, ignore that shit. I'm focused on economics because they don't stand on nothing. You know, they don't have those hard lines and draw those lines anywhere.
I think that shit is all intertwined with the way that the GOP, game planned this election. Like you can say it was economic concerns, but they wove some bigotry into that shit. They made these people believe that it's immigrants who are making your life hard economically. They made these people believe that it's DEI initiatives that are taking jobs from you. Like they for sure tapped into the bigotry with people's economic concerns.
For sure.
Yeah, and we can get like way deep in the weeds here, but for me, the guy wasn't offering a coherent economic message at all. I understand you can demonize people, but to sit here and say you voted because of the economy when this man doesn't even know how to explain what a tariff is and couldn't even coherently explain what he would do for the economy, I have no choice but to logically go to the fact that you just liked the bigotry and you liked the fact that he was demonizing people. And that's why I don't fuck with these people. It's hard for me to fuck with these people.
But you're projecting cohesion of their thoughts.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And that, like, that's I agree with Tyler. Like, I think that you have to acknowledge problems exist, and then you also can't be ruled by them. So, like, to his point, I mean, I do think some people voted on economic interest, but to your point, that doesn't make it okay to me that you're too stupid to realize this dude's not offering you economic plans. You know what I mean? Like, he literally got elected and was like, shh. Just so you know, the president actually has nothing to do with the price of eggs. Like, you know, like, once prices go up, it's hard to bring them back down. It's like, yeah, that is what inflation is. Like, that is why you can't buy a house in Southern California for what it costs 80 years ago. But I mean, it's just, I feel the same way about, we talked about like the male loneliness shit and incel culture and all that stuff. I recognize it I mean, I work with teenage boys. I recognize that the pressures of a digital life where you feel like you're in the spotlight all the time and you can't ask a girl out or she's going to screenshot the message. Like, I recognize the pressures on these kids. I just don't think that allows becoming an asshole. Like,
right.
You know, like, I do think we have to acknowledge the problem because that's the only way you can work to fix it. But you just still, like, all people throughout history have operated within the confines of the world that they were born into. And so you're living in a world where the gas prices are high. Does that mean you should hate undocumented immigrants? No.
Listen, bro, that man went on a NABJ panel and told journalists that immigrants were coming to take their jobs. Like, dog, like that. He just, bro, like I said, bro, the whole game plan was just, you know, try to tap into the bigotry to try to explain people's economic troubles, bro.
And what he did not mean by that is he did not mean, oh, wow, like the Hispanic communities in major cities are underserved by the media that should hire like better representation. That's not what he meant. He meant they're gonna be covering football in Long Beach next year, Mike. they're coming for your job.
He said someone was going to illegally come into America and get a job at the Chicago Sun, dog. Like, covering the food scene in the city. Like, bro, come on, dude. What?
And to put a button on it, there are ICE raids happening starting today, specifically in Chicago. So if you see them and you're a legal citizen here, they cannot do anything to you. So if you see them trying to make life harder for someone else, you can try to stop them or make their life more difficult.
I did not know that. I did not know.
We can citizen arrest ICE.
You said there's
you can't citizen arrest them, but like you could, like the trend that's going around.
Tyler's like, be careful, Jack.
You can't citizen arrest ICE, but the trend that's going around is saying, because, you know, it's undocumented people speak Spanish. If you shout La Migra, if you see an ICE agent, it's going to inform everyone in the area that there's ICE agents around. You can ask ICE agents questions to just, like, you know, innocuous ones if you see them trying to, like, make someone's life harder. They're not going to try to get you if you're an illegally born American citizen.
Are ICE agents armed? Do they carry firearms? I want to know how spicy we can talk to them.
Good question.
Like,
can you call him a bitch?
yeah, that's what I was saying. Can you call them a bitch without worrying about them
right
killing you?
right to it.
Yeah, they might be armed. It's a little bit unclear.
They are armed.
Yeah. Okay, maybe don't go bother them.
I advise against that, man.
Okay, maybe don't go bother them.
Please don't call an
me
ICE
and say
agent a
he's
bitch, unfortunately.
Let's not encourage our chat to be going.
For sure.
No, yeah.
This
But
is
if
awesome.
you see an ICE agent, you turn to me and say he's a bitch. Don't you?
Nah, don't even do that. He's a bitch. That might get you out of here, dog. We ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that. This has something to do with what you're talking about with kids, but like trying to change the subject as well.
Yeah.
I saw somebody, a shorty, like early 20s, you know what I'm saying, at the gym, like pulling a chick number. You feel me? Like in person. Haven't seen that in Hellas. I'm like, we ain't losing all, you know what I mean, all the recipes. You feel me? He did it in the gym too, which is difficult. Without looking like a
high degree
weirdo.
of difficulty.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, I wanted to shake the nigga hand. Like, first off, it's dope to see people still doing this. You know what I mean? But also, like, not being a weirdo in the gym, you know, you're special. You know, keep it up, whatever you're doing, G. For real. But yeah, man, like, yeah.
All right. Should we fulfill Jackson and John's request to change the subject?
Yeah, please. We trying hard, nigga. So I'm
Nothing
really
really-
trying to protect my mentals with this year. I don't want to be. I'm like I said, I want to be as informed as I need to be, and that's it. That's it. I'm not arguing with it. Bro, when you see the last thing I'll say, when we saw the map and how red that motherfucker was, what is there? What else do I need to know? Y'all wanted this shit. Cool. Y'all wanted this. You know what I mean? I'm gonna know what I need to know, and hey, bro, we moving.
Yeah.
I'm moving.
I feel like the black women that I'm friends with are always the most politically engaged people by far, and there is a near
They signed out.
feeling
They
of like,
signed out. Every black woman I know signed the fuck out.
best
They
of luck.
saw that map. Yeah. Hey, you feel me? So, yeah,
Yep.
man.
All right. Period. Spacebar. Enter. Spacebar. New paragraph.
Tab.
Insert page break. John has really been putting all of us onto Unrivaled, and I feel like on the first day ran it up the flagpole of like, this is fun as fuck. Thank God it's a viable 3-on-3. You know, leave anything else out of it. Like, thank God there's some viable 3-on-3 bump to see. So pit for the people in the chat right now who are not watching Unrivaled, pitch it, John.
I ain't pitching shit, but I'm gonna tell you
Okay,
about my
I'll
experience. If y'all want to tap in. If you don't, good for you too. You know what I mean? But I love it. I love 3-on-3 being that you can't hide from shit on either end of the court. And we're seeing that. We're seeing who really hoopers and who's not. You know what I'm saying? Who grew up hooping outside, who grew up, hooping in systems. It's all important. 5-on-5, I'm not trying to take anything from anybody. But I just, I just love hoop. You know what I'm saying? And we're seeing who the real hoopers are. But it's just fun, bro. It's fun, dog. Like it's really enjoyable basketball. I probably watched that more than NBA now. In the last what, since it started on Thursday, I watched more. I'm talking about I'm at the dinner table feeding Shola yesterday watching Unrivaled. You know what I mean? Like it's good. Like it's like worth me scheduling. Oh, the game's at 5:30 today. I'm gonna tap in. You feel me? Like it is really good. I feel like they've done something really special in women's basketball, but in basketball in general. Like we haven't seen 3-on-3 highlighted like this. You know what I mean? But I mean, for me, it's the funnest version of hoops I've seen in a long time. And it's the first time I've been locked in since the Olympics.
I was going to say, that's
really
why I tossed it to
locked all the
you.
way
You
in.
said it
Yeah.
was the most fun you'd had watching basketball since the Olympics, which I thought
For
was
sure.
really high
For
praise.
sure. For sure. And also they got the ones. It's not that they pulled like some. No, these are like you know what I'm saying? Stewie out that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Skylar out that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like they got the hoopers. Ryan Howard out that motherfucker dropping. You know what I'm saying? Enrique out there doing Enrique shit. Like they got the ones out there hooping. And I just love to see it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's 3-on-3 is different. Like I said, you can't hide. Like you can be a defensive specialist in the W. You know what I mean? You got to get a bucket today. You feel me? Ain't no, it's there's all the space and shit. You feel me? And if you the bucket getter in the W, you got to get a stop today. We need you to sit down. You know what I mean? Ain't no help backside. You feel me? It's showing it benefits dog shit and hoop shit. Can you hoop and are you a fucking dog? You gonna fight on both ends of the court, nigga? That's the foundation of hoops to me. That's what I grew up watching. You know what I mean? And that's what we seeing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for me, I didn't like watching Skylar. We see her in a W. She a dog for sure. But I'm seeing her like fight on defensive end, fight on the offensive end, like really like nigga. I'm like the game, the first game that we ever saw, we hit that game winner. Like that shit was fucking electric. You know what I mean? Like, and it wasn't just that. Like they came back. You know what I mean? On defense was how she was moving. She had 4 fouls, I think, in the first 3 quarters. You know what I mean? She did all of that shit at the end, and they had the e-limiting too, where it's like, yo, 20 points, and there's a target score, and yo, we gonna run it up.
It fits with 3. It fits with 3v3.
And
it fits with 3-on-3.
Yes, and there's no commercial breaks in the fourth. Like AT&T sponsors it, no commercial breaks. We just hooping, nigga. You feel me? I'm telling you. I think like the niggas too cool to do this shit. They too, and also they make a whole like whatever. But they too cool. But like also like I'm learning like the Angel Reese's tweet when she tweeted about like her experience at Unrivaled. Like she gets to wake up and go to the gym. Like, I didn't know the Sky don't have like their own practice facility. Like, I'm like, yo,
It was a big thing when she and Caitlin Clark got drafted, that people were doing side by sides of like the introductory press conference. The Sky, looked like it was in like a fucking rec room.
You feel me?
People were doing side by sides of the practice facilities and stuff, and talking about like there is still massive discrepancies
between
in the
each team,
yeah,
the foundations they
It's
have.
basically just the aces.
Yeah.
I remember Candace Parker went on Dre's show last year and was like, I've been a very good basketball player in the Los Angeles market for a long time, and the aces is the first time I've had my own locker that is mine, that nobody touches and doesn't get cleared out and whatever.
I mean, the Sparks play in the Pyramid. A couple get like,
they play in the Galen Center sometimes.
A couple games, right?
Which is USC men's basketball, which is USC's basketball arena.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's highlighted a lot of that shit too. You know what I mean? So I was talking to my homegirl that played in the W. She was like, the W got to watch out. They treat these girls right. This shit is on TNT. Motherfuckers tapping all the way to fucking, you know what I mean? Like, also, these girls ain't got to go overseas and hoop. They can hoop
That's
right
the main thing.
At the crib,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Get paid, get treated right, you know what I mean? And it's beautiful basketball, man. We seeing who is who and what is what around this motherfucker. You know what I mean? I love it.
Yeah, I feel like you can't overemphasize enough what a big deal the fact is, and it's the most undercovered story in women's basketball to me, is the fact that like all of these people have other careers
and make more
like
in
playing
those
overseas,
careers.
right? And
You know
that's
what I'm
right. The WNBA is a side hustle, and so the fact that you have a path to earn money here and do it in a way that is putting less wear and tear on your body than just playing full court basketball 10 months a year. You know what I mean? Like it's such an underrated thing about it, that it's going to, like, the WNBA should be thanking them. It's going to make the WNBA better as well.
Right,
you know what I mean?
And it's full court 3-on-3 too. This is a half court shit.
No, I'm sorry. I don't
They
mean
want a
I don't
full
mean
I'm
full
not
court.
saying you
I
are.
just mean in terms of the wear and tear on the body.
I know you weren't.
of-
I'm just
right.
saying that. I
Yeah.
wasn't even speaking to what you were saying. I'm just adding more information. Like, this ain't half. This is full court 3-on-3. Hey man, like it's what they're doing is special. You know what I mean? I love it. I love it. And I think, if you really love hoops, you'll love it too.
You said you weren't gonna pitch it. That was a hell of a pitch, brother.
I mean, I was just telling how I felt. I didn't want to come in with the idea of trying to persuade somebody, because that's a different
But
mindset,
if you love
know what
hoops,
I mean?
you'll love it. Like,
Yeah,
that's a pitch.
That's how I truly feel.
That's just you.
And
That's
I just boop at the end. That's a little, tie a little knot on it at the end. You feel me? A little bow on.
All right, Joey Badass dropped Sorry Not Sorry. I'm curious for your, I know it's not Drake Kendrick. I'm not expecting Shola to pop in. I'm not expecting
here, baby, at daycare.
Yeah, I'm not expecting 10 million people to tap in on Joey Badass. But what do y'all think about the song?
I ain't gonna lie, I'm just kind of bored with Joey's Badass's antics as of late. And the dude can rap. I'm a fan of him. The dude can rap, but it's just, I don't know, man. It feels a little thirsty from him trying to insert himself in this beef, right? Like, I can understand if Drake was from New York and he was like, yo, nah, you ain't gonna just step on the city like that. But Drake is Canadian, and Joey Badass took the angle like, nah, it's time for New York to get our respect back. It's too much West Coast dick licking and all that shit. And I'm like, I don't know, dog. I'm just not interested. I don't know how else to put it.
West Coast dick riding, like, the West is just up right now. There ain't no dick riding. Like, what are you talking about? Like, we supposed to look at who over there and look away from Kendrick and then woo, you nigga. And I'm a Joey Badass fan. You feel me? That's my favorite grilling album, actually. The joint we just had with the porch on the front. I love playing some Joey Badass, grilling, shirt off, fucking sandals and shit. You know what I mean? That's my whole little vibe. I fuck with Joey. You know what I mean? I like his acting career, all that shit. I like how he move. But nigga, this is just feel, like you said, it feel thirsty. It feel like, look at me. No, nigga, it's not your time. Chill out a little bit. For what? You know what I mean? And no disrespect to New York. You know what I mean? None of that shit. You the Mecca. But right now, the West is up. Let's let it be what it is. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just feel like it felt thirsty. It felt weird, and like it wasn't needed. You just came out here for no reason. But that's what thirsty niggas do when they thirsty. You feel me? So, and I'm saying this as a Joey fan. I don't want to. I mean, I still love Joey. I follow him on all platforms. You know what I mean? Like, I love how he dresses. You know what I mean? He really puts that shit on. You know what I mean? But nah, dog. Like, you feel me? Like, that was unnecessary.
Tyler, what's your favorite grilling album?
Shit. I don't necessarily have a go-to grill album, bro. I mean, I grill so often that it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's whatever the vibe is at the moment, you know?
Somi ate my chicken yesterday.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, man.
She liked it.
She had a little. She liked it. It was. I didn't do your recipe yet. I gotta. You know, we take our
Work up to
time.
it.
We gotta.
For
We gotta
sure.
take our time, brother. You know what I mean?
Got to ease her into that.
Gotta ease myself into there, brother. You know, we ain't there. You know what I mean? But yeah. So we
Anderson packed to me. That's like go to.
Oh yeah.
That's a
The
vibe. That's
the
a
Apple
vibe.
Essentials. Just shuffle it while grilling. It's like guaranteed good time. I got the griddle. We're building the griddle this weekend, Tyler.
Nice.
Shar got me. I went griddle over smoker because of the allure of being able to make breakfast
Oh yeah. Can't beat that, dog.
outside, like 9 a.m. sunny outside.
Toes out.
Sunday,
Sheesh.
you know,
Shit, you could get some hibachi shit going on that motherfucker too, dog.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like I'll get
Yeah.
some, I do some like chicken fried rice, but like breakfast, I could do pancakes over here for Maya. I could do bacon, make myself a breakfast burrito. Like I couldn't pass it up. So I'm excited. I did just try I used the steak rub that you recommended to Char that she got, and goddamn,
That shit good as hell, ain't it?
it was like Franklin's barbecue. I forget what it was called, but man,
Mm-hmm.
it was good as fuck. All right, that's all the time we got. We'll be back on Thursday with another episode, and we will see y'all then. Bye.
Bye.